How's it going, guys? Bibi here with another Bibi's Pick, a series where I pick an anime that I've seen in English and recommend it to all you awesome people at home. So this week I'm recommending Ghost Hunt, so let's get into it. Ghost Hunt is a 25 episode series based off of an 8-volume light novel series named Akurio series. Akurio series finished up in 1992 and unfortunately was unfinished. But in 1998 they did create a manga series named Ghost Hunt, which is still going till this day. The series was created by JC staff and was made in 2006 and now has a dub by Funimation, which by the way is really good. The series follows a high school girl named May who loves to tell ghost stories after school with her friends. One of those days she comes across a young man named Kazuya Shibuya. He's investigating the abandoned high school building out the back, and the series goes on from there. One thing leads to another and she ends up accidentally breaking his camera and injuring his assistant, and so to pay him back she now has to help him with his work and in his investigations and be his assistant. So that's essentially what the series is about, the supernatural, ghosts, and they try and investigate what happened to the deceased people. I absolutely love this series and it's really spooky. It's great for this time of year. They break down the series into little chunks, little stories that consist of 1 episode to 4 episodes, and I really like how they do this. They really give the sense that they are telling a story and then they go on to the next story and the next. There are lots of different ways that they tell their stories, from being comedic to being really spooky to even being sad. There are 2 main stories that I absolutely love in this series. The third story and the second to last, and that's because they are really spooky. They go into the creepiness. It's very horror themed and it makes your skin crawl the first time you watch them, especially the second to last one. If you don't like the supernatural, you don't like scary stories, you don't like blood, because there is a decent amount of blood, and if you don't like scary scenes with ghosts, then you may not like this one because they have a lot of it. And that's what's great about this series, because it does really get you into the mood of Halloween. All the characters in the series are reasonably likable, but at the same time they're all very bland. You don't get to learn much about them, they don't have much character development. But because of the way that the series is created, the way that they paced it and the way that they've made it, you don't really need to have that much character development at all, because it's not that type of series. It's definitely not a character driven series. You do learn a lot about the side characters' backgrounds because they are essentially kind of the main element of the stories. So you learn how a person died and you learn a little bit about their history and their family life, which that is perfectly fine. You need to kind of know that to be able to get a sense of what happened to them and to have a little bit of feeling towards those characters as well, which I really like. I like the fact that you can kind of feel for these characters that you essentially knew nothing about. It's definitely interesting how they've done this. There's not many series that I've seen where you actually learn more about the side characters than the main characters in the series. But speaking of the main characters, we have a high school girl, we have a paranormal researcher, we have a monk, a priest, and a shrine maiden. So that's what I mean by it's a very diverse lot. There are a lot of different backgrounds. The one character that I must say that I have a little bit of an issue with, well actually no, 2, but the first one that I'm going to mention is Father John, the priest. So apparently he is Australian, and he has the worst Australian accent I have ever heard. I mean, I've heard some bad fake Australian accents in my life, but this is just bad. Like, pretty much it's an American trying to be an Australian. They even chuck in the "g'day mate" type thing, and it is cringeworthy hilariousness. The other character that I take issue with is May. May is the main protagonist. We follow her, we kind of see things through her eyes we learn her thought process. She is so whiny. I get that she's supposed to be a teenager, but she is just so whiny at times that I'm just like, oh my god, shut up, please. And the other issue that I have with her, which made me yell at the television quite a lot, is her stupidity. She falls asleep a lot. I swear this girl has a bad case of narcolepsy because she falls asleep all the time. The reason why she falls asleep is because she has these premonitions. Her dreams that she has are supposed to be little glimpses into the future. They're supposed to be warnings as such. And this happens like from episode 1. Instead of just telling the team what's going to happen, just to like let them know that this could be something important, because once she found out that, you know, this is a thing that happens to her, you know, she starts to learn that these are premonitions, not just dreams. She still doesn't tell people. She insists to keep to herself, or she'll just forget. And when it's a case of life and death, that's something that you would not expect someone to forget. The character designs in this series were decent enough. They weren't anything stellar. They weren't overly beautiful. A lot of the background characters were very bland and undistinguishable. The main characters, they were different enough from the other characters that you could tell that this was the main cast, but at the same time there weren't any outstanding like, oh, this is definitely my waifu or this is definitely my husbando because they are so sexy type thing. It was just okay. There were definitely a lot of times where the designs were just pretty bad, especially when it came to hands. They had a bad case of like claw hand at times, or there was one instance I noticed where it was a still and it seriously looked like that the person that was drawing it just gave up, because from about here up looked decent, then from here down it was just, I don't know what they were doing. It looked like they're like, oh, it's alright, this half it looks fine, we'll just quickly do the bottom half. It was actually quite laughable the way that that happened, and there were a few dirt faces here and there, but for the most part the designs, the animation, it was all really nice. The best part of the character designs and the animation in general would have to be the ghosts and all the creepiness that they put into them. Their faces, if they wanted them to look evil, they looked evil, and they will give you a shiver down your spine. They will give you the creeps. And when it comes to kind of zombie-esque looking characters, they were also really, really creepy. They drew like the blood really well. It looked thick, it looked gooey and just gross, and the best part of it is definitely the ghosts and just how spooky they can make this series, which I absolutely love. I'm not usually one for scary movies. Like, I will usually stay away from scary movies when it comes to regular movies, but anime, I quite like my scary anime, and this one's really, really good for it. If you want to just chill out, watch something kind of spooky but not so much that you're going to get nightmares, then I'd highly suggest this one. Lastly, the opening and ending, they were alright. The opening definitely kind of gave me a Ghost Stories 90s vibe, like Goosebumps. It just kind of gave me this old school feel. It didn't have any like opening song as such, it was just music with some images that weren't really images. When you see it, you'll understand what I mean. It's not something that I really need to listen to more than once, so I always skipped over the starting and the ending. It's not something that I need to listen to, but it could be someone's taste. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the opening of this series, if you have seen it. All in all, I absolutely love this series. I highly suggest anyone watch it if you want to watch something spooky. It's great. It's got elements of scariness, sadness, comedy as well. It's got all of that, and I think that plenty of people will enjoy this. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out, because it's up there in like my top 20, top 50 anime. It's not quite up there in like the top 10, but it's definitely well worth the watch. I can't really think of anything that it's really similar to though. It's got that thriller horror feel to it, but there's nothing really that tells set stories like the way that this series does. So if there are any series that you think that you would recommend that is kind of like this one, leave it down in the comments below, because I'd like to know. And that was Bibi's pick, Ghost Hunt. Have you seen this series, and what do you think of it? And if you haven't seen it, do you think that you'll check it out? Leave it all down in the comments below. I look forward to reading them all. While you're there, please make sure to give this video a big like and share it out to all your friends. I'd really appreciate it, and it helps me out a lot. If you haven't checked out my channel already, please do so, because I've got anime news, anime figure reviews, and Bibi's picks like this one. I've got plenty of other things on the channel as well. If you want to see what I've been up to, I'm on social media. I've got a Twitter and a Facebook, as well as an Instagram, Discord, Anime Mino. I've got a lot of socials, so check in the description below for all of those. I've also just started up a new website, which I've been posting a couple of AMVs on there, as well as fan art. So if you guys want to check out that, you can find all the links down in the description below. On top of that, if you also want to send me fan art, please do so. I absolutely love them, and I'll be posting them to a lot of my socials, including my website. So you can send them to me over Discord or tweet them at me. If you want to see more from me and more videos like this, then please make sure to subscribe for a wide range of anime content. From Moe to Mika, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!